This segment is sponsored by the Retired Racehorse Project. Now we're going to bring on Kaitlin here. Hi, Kaitlin.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well.
That's good. So I want to read a little bio about Kaitlin, and then we're going to get Kareem and Kaitlin to talk about their off-the-track thoroughbreds. Kaitlin grew up horse-obsessed in a non-horsey family in Texas. She started on the 4-H circuit as a kid, and she's worked on the media and marketing side of the horse world, and the horse racing industry for the past 7 years, and she's currently COO of Grand Slam Social, a boutique equestrian-focused social media agency. She also co-hosts the Amplify Horse Racing podcast. Where can people find that Amplify Horse Racing podcast?
We are on iTunes or Spotify.
Okay. And
so,
now,
well, sorry, I guess it's not iTunes, actually. It's Apple Podcasts.
Okay. And now with her horse, Charles, she's taking to the show world, riding in the adult amateur hunters. Yay. So last week we saw, Kaitlin, you saw your first ride. We saw your first jumping course. That, and then we're going to get to you in a second, but I want to ask Kareem about your polo horse, Cholo. We've got a picture of Cholo. High-spirited. He was an ex-racehorse, and we talked about the polo ponies, but you trained this horse, right?
Yeah, so I fortunately was able to, I got Cholo when he was, I want to say about 3 or 4 off the track. And when Leslie and Work Dry, when we purchased him, we raced him for, I think, a couple more times. And unfortunately, he didn't do that well. So we realized that, we wanted to kind of start Cholo's polo career. So the idea was I was going to train Cholo and sell him and use the funds for my college tuition. But I fell in love with Cholo and I could not sell him. And, now he's with us, 18 years later.
Is he? Yeah, excellent. That's wonderful news. That's what we like to hear. Horses getting and staying in their families. That's excellent. So did you, Kaitlin, when we were talking about how clean the stable was versus how clean your house is, could you relate to that?
Absolutely. I still do that. I will procrastinate by cleaning tack or almost anything else at the barn before I will come home and do household chores.
Exactly. So we saw Charles and Kaitlin last week and go to their first horse show. And if you want to check out the replay on that, we're going to post that in the comments so you can see that. Now let's see what Charles is doing this week. How was Charles this past week?
He has been amazing. I don't want to speak too soon. We have a few days left of the show, but he
so can you really tell us
taken to it
about this course here?
Yeah, so this was his second day showing, and this is my trainer, Adrienne Gamboa Ford, riding. She does him much more justice than I do. In the hunter ring, she puts in beautiful, smooth, even rides on him, and he loves it. We really think that he just enjoys the atmosphere, and he, we've had some baby moments. The first day, it rained basically all last week, and so you can see it's pretty muddy here. He didn't have to show in the rain this day, but his first day, he competed in the rain and the mud, which he was not really used to because everything that we have at home is covered. So he's taken
I think
everything.
we have.
Right.
I think we have that one where it's pissing down rain. Just a second, see if I can find it.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
I love those lead changes. He looks amazing.
Thank
Aren't they
you.
smooth? They're pretty good, eh?
I know.
Yeah,
Those are some great lead changes there.
He's got pretty natural. That was something that I saw on his video that they showed last week when he was kind of just running around in the ring, and it looked like they came pretty natural to him. So yeah, so this is Charles and I on Sunday.
This is before the rain.
No, this is after. So this was
it's after the rain.
Yeah, so it had dried up a little bit at this point, but they kept switching rings. So he, as you can see, he's like very enthusiastic about his job. And he actually, I told my trainer, I think it was Saturday, that I schooled him, and I said, this is the first time I've ever ridden him that I felt like I'm on an ex-racehorse.
Yeah.
Because so at home normally, I'm using, like, I have spurs and a crop. Because
I noticed you had spurs on. Yeah.
He's generally on the quieter side. He's incredibly quiet for a thoroughbred. But he has kind of turned it up at the show and been very strong. I don't think this is the one, but this is earlier today. He had a beautiful round, his first round. This is again with my trainer on him. And then he got fired up for the second round, and it was much quicker. Put a 5 and a 6 coming home. He just could not help. Yeah, I could not help himself. But I mean, we've been here for over a week now.
You say he's a 4-year-old?
Yes.
So he's a 4-year-old. So he's just, I got to find that one where he's going in the rain. Because for a 4-year-old, go inside, to go outside, to go in the rain, to go in all this stuff. He's not even looking around. He's just kind of happy to be there. Yep.
This was his first time in that covered arena too, which can be a little bit scary. It was funny. I was actually reading an article about a horse preparing for the Retired Racehorse Project, and the author was saying she had taken her horses to the Florida Horse Park, and she mentioned that the Florida Horse Park can be like the Kentucky Horse Park in that it lights horses up a bit. And he's definitely been, like I said, he's strong, but he's just he's excited. I think it's enthusiasm more than anything. He understands the job now. So he's been in full training since January. I've had him since September. And I think it's all kind of clicking in that this is the new life. And he seems to be liking it.
It's amazing.
Is that, oh no, that was 6.
Oh yeah. So it's the second. So she stayed in and finished her round because of course my trainer, she rode like 10 horses today. So she was going in between the meter 20, meter 10s, coming to do the 2'3" on Charles, and then back to the meter 20s. And so she just stayed in the ring and went again. And at that point he was awake. So
excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, before you go, we want to do some of the comments here. We've got some comments. Joe says, can't wait to read the book. Thank you very much, Joe. Okay, so Liz says, thank you very much, Liz. Yes, we've gotten tons of rain in Kentucky.
Today was beautiful, finally.
Joanne Pierce, thank you, Joanne, for sending in a comment here. How wonderful to hear about the Work to Ride program, a beautiful legacy and gift to the world. Thank you so much, Joanne. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And then Joanne also says, looking forward to reading your book.
Thank you.
And Joanne says, bravo, Leslie. Yes, thank you so much. And Patrick, love the TBs. Thank you, Patrick, so much. Appreciate you giving us a comment. Thank you so much. Now, for as far as question goes, so what kind of challenges are you facing this week? Your horse has been in stabling for a week.
Mhm.
Is that a little different than what you do at home?
Yes, except with all the rain, they usually don't go out in the rain anyways. And then I heard that Houston is preparing for a tropical storm, so it sounds like there's even more rain coming down there. So I did rent a paddock while we were here. They have like small paddocks that you can rent to turn your horses out in. And I went ahead and invested in that because I knew even if he got a few hours in it, every day or every other day, that he would, that I would have a happier horse for it. And so yeah, between that and then yesterday he just went on a hack with his barn buddies around the Kentucky Horse Park. And it was actually the first true hack that we had ever been on together, because we live in Houston and space is limited at our barn. So there's not really like a lot of trail riding opportunities. So we went out for the first time. And I mean, again, he just completely impressed me. We had, he was with 6 other horses. He was a total gentleman, even picked up a canter in the cross country field. And it was the most lovely canter. He was mostly concerned. I think he thought he had gone to heaven because of all the grass.
Excellent. So what about training for this week? How are you going to change your training with respect to nope, everything's going cool?
Yeah, pretty much keeping it the same. He is getting lunged a little bit in the morning because when I schooled him over the weekend, he wasn't lunged the first day because, as I said, normally I have a very, very quiet horse and my legs are shaking because of the amount of leg that I need to use. But it's quite opposite now. So, and again, he's so enthusiastic about his new job. I can't fault him at all. So, we're just making sure. I mean, he gets grass every single day. I take him out several times a day, and he gets light work. I mean, really, he knows how to jump now. It took us a little while to get him to learn, the rocking back and jumping, but he gets that now. So we don't jump him very often. We do a few warm-up jumps. And I mean, really, we're just focusing on our flat work, but he gets ridden or worked maybe 20, 30 minutes a day. But he's a baby and we want him to stay happy, and we want him to stay happy. And we want him to stay liking his job.
Yeah. So Kareem, how big were the Polo ponies, thoroughbreds that you dealt with? The Polo ponies, they are thoroughbreds, right?
Yeah, many of them are thoroughbreds. When you ask how big as far as hands and the literal size.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, typically a decent sized Polo pony, probably 15-1, 15-2. Anything really, 16 hands is a big Polo pony. So we want something between, 15 to 15-2 hands are like ideal size.
And how tall are you?
I'm 6 foot. So
how tall are you, Kaitlin?
I am 5 foot.
And how big's your horse?
Charles is just about a hair over 16 hands. We joke that he's actually he's probably 16.2 in the butt.
Oh, he's still growing.
He's still growing. Yes. So he's a little croup high. But yeah.
Patrick says flat work is so important. It's the building blocks of the jumping.
Yeah.
Thank you, Patrick, for that.
Our jumping, my jump, when I've jumped him, it feels so natural. We see our distances normally together and the same. Like I said, it's been a little different here because there's so much more going on than at home. So he's a bit stronger, but yeah, it's completely flat work. It's not the jumps that are the problem. It's the keeping the rhythmic pace in between.
That's what it's all about. Yeah. So Kaitlin, do you think we can get Charles on the show next week?
Yes, I will definitely try. Hopefully at that point we will be home in Texas. We'll be leaving at the end of the weekend. So yes, he will definitely be able to make an appearance at some point.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank
And
you.
we'll see you again next week. We'll say goodbye for now, but we'll see you next week.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Nice
Bye.
talking to you, Kaitlin. Take care.
Bye.